Welcome to another exciting episode of Trendz Travel. Today we will be looking at all things wellness, from fitness to nutrition and of course beauty. Coming up, are you back at the office? Well, here is a fun team building exercise that you absolutely must try. Next, we teach you how to get fit and stay fit with an intense Pilates session. As the saying goes, you are what you eat. We are here to help you along this journey though with a few tips from a nutritionist. You really don't want to miss this one.
New year, new beginnings, right? Well, at least for some. And there could not be a better way for colleagues to kickstart the new year than this. It is, after all, the perfect time for teams to realize their strengths and weaknesses. Now, let's get ready for some team building activities. Our first challenge here was to cross the acid river.
Yes, you're not allowed to step on the ground.
Everybody
Not
needs
on
to
the
step
grass,
on
not
that side. If you step in the river, you die. It's acid, so you
Then you're
die,
gonna come and
start
start
over
again. It's
again.
on our coconut.
We had a minute to decide how to cross the river. Each of us came up with a plan, but there was only one way that would work, and trust me, it was not an easy task.
Yeah. Okay, come back. Come back. Woo, Jesus. Don't die on me now. Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
We reached the end of the river with minimal struggle, I must say. But...
That's right.
Now the last two had to really stretch and make very long jumps for a great finish.
Nice one.
We also did water bucket, which we had to balance, and we failed very miserably.
So are you guys ready?
Yes.
Nice one. So I'm gonna put this bucket on top.
God, this is gonna be on me. My feet are not on the bucket.
Don't worry, you're gonna do that. You're gonna put that. Okay, so guys, I'm not gonna hold it anymore, okay? Okay, so who's gonna start?
I'll start. Take off the shoe.
Yes.
Okay.
Guys, we also offer like treetop adventures. So we do activities on top of the trees, like it's zip lining, and also you do obstacles on the trees here. You get 2 hours to do the whole thing, and then it's a 2-hour session to have as much fun as you can. Yeah.
No matter how difficult this was for me, quitting was not an option.
Yeah, so the purpose of team building games is to make sure we build a strong team that cohesively works together, and then and its purposes is to build strong bonds in an organization so that they can work together, communicate better, planning skills.
Okay, next slide. After this, I'm done. Serious? Okay, where is the magnet here?
Yeah, I love the long one, the last one that we just did. But I don't think I'm an outdoor person because I've been scratching. My whole body is itchy from lying down on the ground. But other than that, I loved it. Some were fun, some were not so fun. But it was nice.
Nice one. Grab the rope.
Listen, today was exciting. It was very nice. I went in, I thought I could do this, you know? Went in with so much vigor.
I just want to see something there.
Oh, my gun! My gun! Just go!
It was so exciting. I usually believe that I'm an adrenaline junkie. Challenging because I thought it was very simple. But nonetheless, it was exciting.
Yes.
Grab the rope. Nice one. Press it up.
Got me so nervous. At some point, I thought I was gonna fall down and forget about the ropes. So, for first time experience, great, done, never again.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Is that why you?
You can tell them.
I
I reached my limits. I didn't quit. My body reached its own limits. But frankly, yes.
I mean, you know, I'm a conqueror like that. That's just how I roll. So, you know, having this opportunity, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make the most of it. So that's the only reason why I did that. And you know, new year, you always gotta have that thing of completion. I'm just on this trying to hit the gym every day, trying to complete every task that I tackle every day. So finishing this course was part of that, like just being able to say I've completed something.
And that's another winner's victory dance.
Developed by physical trainer Joseph Pilates, this form of exercise is now practiced worldwide. We visited Pilates Dynamic Studio in Johannesburg to learn more about this method of training and, of course, to give it a try. So what is Pilates and what are the real benefits of this type of workout?
So Pilates is a low-impact, functional strength training type of exercise, focusing on the core. And the core is really the back, upper back, lower back, abdominals, and all your hip muscles, your glutes. And it's a functional strength training type of exercise. It was actually created to aid in rehabilitation and specifically with dancers. And people soon realized that it was so successful with dancers in terms of using Pilates as a cross-training method, because for dancers or your everyday life, we use very repetitive movements. So you overuse some muscles and you underuse other muscles. And that is really where Pilates comes in, and that is where its goal is to focus on those muscles that are not being used so that it can actually create balance in the body and prevent injury. And of course, I mean, lots of toning, because the focus is the core, and weight loss and all those wonderful things.
It's also very good for elderly people who can't do all these high intensity activities. And the great part is also very safe and good for pregnancy. So there are a lot of benefits.
We do kiddies Pilates, so it's really any age from about 5 years onwards until about 80 years. The beauty of Pilates is that it's very adaptable for any age and any level of fitness. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're an athlete or whether you're just a normal person that maybe goes for walks or goes to the gym occasionally. It can be adapted to suit everybody. So it also prevents osteoporosis, which is brittle bones. It aids in weight loss as well, because it creates, you turn your muscles, and with building muscle, it increases your basal metabolic rate, which is the burning of calories when the body is at rest.
Okay, and if you're looking outside of the physical aspect, you also have Pilates, which helps with your mental well-being. So when you're doing Pilates exercise, it's not like you're just laying down and moving. You're actually connecting with your entire body. It also brings your awareness to your body, what muscles are being activated. That's why the environment you're working in is very, very important. And that's why we have a lot of nature. You have that tranquil, peaceful, because you need to connect your mind and your body during Pilates.
Okay, so Pilates really is a full body workout. I mean, I broke a sweat there. And even the breathing is more focused and intentional. Is that the right word? Yeah. So how long have you been doing Pilates?
I've been doing Pilates here for 2 years now. This is my 3rd year. Before that, I did Pilates, but it wasn't as focused and as intense as it is now that I do it here. So I used to do it a lot with YouTube and videos that I saw online. And only when I started doing it with the studio that I realized that there's actually more to it than just the movement.
Okay, so but what are the chances that one would get or sustain an injury while doing this kind of exercise?
Okay, the chances are very, very high, especially with your lower back and with that core activation as well. So if you do not activate the right muscles with Pilates, it does result to injury. You must remember that we're working in a long lever. So when your legs are lifted, say for example you're watching a video, you're not really taught that you shouldn't be arching your back as you drop the legs. You're not reminded to keep your back down. So all those things come into play.
We'll never push you beyond your limits. And we are going to teach you as well to work within your limit. And we will change the exercises so that you can still focus on the same muscle groups and still get the same workouts, but in a safer mode for you, very individualized.
The instructors were really patient with me and made me really consider going back for more sessions. If you're looking for an alternative training method, one that focuses on mind, body and soul, then you have to try Pilates. Chanel, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So this morning I just went to a Pilates class, right? And now I'm ready to talk all things holistic health, nutrition, what should I do, what should I not do? And I heard you are the expert when it comes to that.
Oh, thank you.
But before we get to that, maybe let's talk about you. Who are you? Where do you come from? And yes, what do you do? Tell me about yourself.
So Nadia, I'm an actor and a model. But I've always had an absolute passion for health and fitness. So unlocking 100% that passion, I loved health and fitness for myself. But more importantly, I loved helping women. And so I turned it into a side passion project, and before I knew it, Nude Chanel, the brand that I came up with, was invented, and here we are.
Fantastic, oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk health. All right.
Okay, my favorite topic.
It's the beginning of the year and there's a crazy trend that's going on right now, as always, which is detoxing. Everyone is going their own route and doing crazy things like going cold turkey on eating and just drinking water or juice and going on fast. Is that the right thing to do, and or how's the safest way of going in that direction if you want to cut out?
Well, Nadia, you mentioned the word crazy, and I think that's very important. You know, detoxing, it is, you know, it's such a trendy word that's being thrown around, and there's so many fad diets at the moment. And that's actually why I came up with Nude Chanel. So Nude stands for Naturally Unifying Diet and Exercise.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it's really just, you know, there's so much information out there, especially on social media, and even as a personal trainer, it's so overwhelming. You know, you're like, where do I even begin? And so I really just wanted to cut all of that away, strip it right back down to the basics. What really works in terms of nutrition and exercise. And so for me, I don't believe in anything that extreme detoxing, going on 1 or 2 juices a day, because sure, you might burn a couple of calories during that time, but then when you start reintroducing food back into your diet, then what happens? So I'm all about healthy living, sustainable eating and exercise, and something that can last you
throughout the year.
That's it. No such thing as just summer bodies. We do all year long bodies.
All right. Okay, so take us through your typical day. What does a day in Chanel's life look like?
Okay, so I mean, Nadia, just on that question, the number one question I get asked all the time is, Chanel, how do you stay so motivated?
Yes, please tell us.
I'm not. It's impossible to be motivated 7 days a week. You can't be. We don't all wake up smiling and laughing every day. But what I am is dedicated. And that's actually where the results come in. So I've set my mind to doing 6 workouts a week. And no matter what, I get up and I do those workouts. 6, my love. 6 workouts a week. I eat exceptionally well, but it's all about moderation. So I employ an 80-20 concept. So 80% very, very healthy, clean eating, 20% indulge. Do you want the chocolate? Eat the chocolate, please. There's no deprivation, calorie counting, none of that. For me, it's all about quality over quantity. So it's not about, you know, tracking every little morsel that you're about to eat. It's about eating nutrient-dense food that is raw, food that is good for you, that is going to nourish you from the inside out. food is medicine and food is fuel. If we use it correctly, it'll give us whatever our body needs. So one of the things that I love to do first thing in the morning before I work out is I take an iron supplement in the mornings because I am deficient. And you know, juicing is such a big trend at the moment and such a big such a fad.
Yes.
But you can really maximize the nutrients found in juices. So what I love to do is I take my sachet, my liquid iron sachet, pop it in a glass, and then I add some orange juice. I love the crushed orange juice personally. I also have some, we can cheers.
Yes.
And the reason why I mix the two together is because vitamin C helps with maximum absorption of iron.
Yes.
Good. So you're making sure that you
know something.
There we go. You're really getting all those nutrients first thing in the morning. Set you up for a good day. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to great health.
Great health. I love that.
If you don't believe in cosmetic surgery after seeing all this, hold on. I'm about to change your mind.
Gone are the days of traveling and taking vacations just for the fun of it. People now are intentional with their traveling plans. They do it for health reasons, for medical reasons, for cosmetic surgery. I need people are going to India, they're going to Turkey, they're going to Mexico for cosmetic surgery. But forget about that. In South Africa, you can actually do it. So if you want to start your journey of cosmetic surgery or you want to become a medical tourist, Ozala, I want to show you something.
The idea of moving from just being a normal general practitioner with an interest in aesthetics to a developer of a hotel with a hospital stemmed from the fact that I realized in South Africa there is no facility for medical tourism. I mean, if you really look at it, South Africa has the best doctors on the continent. We have the best infrastructure, and yet nobody was coming to South Africa for cosmetic procedures. People were rather flocking to Turkey, and people with a lot of money were going off to the USA and to Europe. So I said, why not create something really special where people would come because they trust South African doctors and come to a facility where they can have their procedures done and rest and recuperate at the same time. I think medical tourism is absolutely a trend overseas, and in South Africa people are most 100% doing it, and I'll tell you why. So our focus was mainly the overseas market before COVID. Our target was the West African market to convince people in Ghana, Nigeria to rather travel to South Africa than the UK or the USA to have cosmetic procedures done. However, after COVID, that business plan went sideways because we couldn't really attract that market because people weren't quite ready to travel. So obviously our attentions shifted to the South African market, and we were pleasantly surprised. So people definitely want to have these procedures done, and I think now why they are doing it more so than ever, especially in a facility like ours, is because it offers discretion, especially if you're looking at your affluent market, your celebrities, your politicians, the actresses. They want to have these things done, but they definitely want to fly under the radar, and this is the perfect spot for them to do so. We are approved by the Department of Health, so we have to be an accredited facility to offer these kind of procedures. So in terms of patients having these procedures done, they know that they're having it done in a certified center. All our doctors are qualified, board-certified plastic surgeons. So they will never ever take on a patient who is a medical risk or a high medical risk. The other important thing, especially for medical tourists, that's people who are traveling outside the country, is that we do keep them here for a minimum of 14 days to monitor their progress. So we will never do a procedure and within 5 days put them on a plane and send them off, because the most number of complications usually occurs within 14 days. The type of cosmetic procedures we offer include liposuction, that being the most common procedure, and we call it 360 liposuction, especially for women, where you are basically sucking fat from all areas you don't want, the back, the flanks, the thighs, and you're basically putting it in the bum. So 360 liposuction with BBL, that's the Brazilian butt lift, tends to be the most common procedure at the moment, followed by breast augmentation, followed by facelifts. So those are our top 3 cosmetic procedures that we offer at Vivari. So I offer non-surgical cosmetic procedures, and Botox basically is a medication, and we inject it in strategic areas to lift parts of the face. So for example, with you being young and beautiful, not much wrinkles, I would add a little bit of Botox just under the tail of the brow to lift the brow, and that will just give you a wide-eyed look.
Smooth, affordable, yet high-end medical tourism experience definitely looks like this. Now you understand why medical tourism is becoming increasingly popular around the world. Well, anyways, after a successful Botox session, we decided to wind down over a spa treatment and some bubbly. All this is part of health and wellness. Give your body a little love. It deserves it.
We hope you took some tips from this show, and you are more than welcome to share your own on Twitter. We are at Trendz on SABC. We'll see you next week.